Okay, it looks like we are live, fellas.
All right.
Okay, hello and welcome to the MMA Live Chat Show. I'm Rich Davie, and it's Sunday, August 24th, 2014, the day after the UFC Fight Night 49 Henderson versus Dos Anjos event. On today's show, we'll be discussing the UFC Fight Night 49 Henderson versus Dos Anjos event, the outcome, and then we'll talk about the on-the-spot predictions that Damon and I made on the last show. And then more than likely we'll chat about some other MMA news in the final thoughts segment as well, if time allows. On today's show we have yours truly, Damon Gazelle, and Antonio Cooper.
What's going on?
Okay, guys, thanks again for showing up here. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me here and talk about the event last night. What we're going to do is we're going to do things a little differently this time for this show. Normally we start from the main event and work our way down, but today we're going to start things out a little bit differently here. So let's go ahead and jump right into things here. The UFC Fight Night 49 Benson Henderson versus Rafael dos Anjos event that took place last night, Saturday, August 23rd, 2014 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And let's go ahead and try going in chronological order here from the prelims. We'll pick up from the prelims on the Fox Sports 2 channel, but I do want to talk about that one fight first. Ben Saunders, he made his return to the UFC, and he looked pretty impressive in that fight, didn't you guys? Did you guys see that one?
I didn't catch it, but from what I've heard, the guy looked more than impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the first omoplata in the UFC, but it was crazy.
Yeah, and it came pretty damn quick too. 2 minutes and 18 seconds in round one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he was hoping for a knockout, but
Did we lose you?
Yeah, lost him. Oh man.
All right, well, he'll join us in a moment.
That was just mid-sentence. We lost him. Oh, yeah,
David's having some internet issues today.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks it was me, now it's his turn. Yeah, so that was pretty impressive there. I mean, Ben Saunders, he was on tough, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I forgot which tough he was on, but he was on tough. And yeah, like you said, he just came back from Bellator. You know, it's sad that people look at a stink like at Bellator as if it's like a jail sentence of some sort. But yeah, he was on. That's what Ultimate Fighter he was on. He was with Hughes versus Sarah.
Yeah,
So
well,
that was a while back.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was pretty young there, and he had this. I remember he had this creepy smile and grin on the show. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, he had this creepy look when he would look at somebody and smile at them. It was like, wow, that's fucking weird.
All right, he's back.
He's back?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, so he had that really weird smile, like I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand what you're saying about, you know, Bellator and that situation that you were making was like a prison sentence. But really, what Bellator has become is they've kind of filled the void of WEC. You know?
Yeah, which is highly unfortunate because they got some real talent over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of shakeups going on over there, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of shakeups. New president.
Yeah, yeah, since Coker took over. He was pretty young when he had this. I remember he had this creepy smile. I can hear the show coming through on his mic.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, he had this creepy look when he looked at you hear that? It was like, wow, that's fucking weird.
All right, he's back.
He's back?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, so he had that really weird smile, like I was saying. And I understand what you're saying about, you know, Bellator, that situation that you're making was like
you hear the show right
really,
now.
Bellator has become this kind of filled the void of
wow, this is which is highly unfortunate because they got some real talent over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of shakeups going on over there too.
Yeah, lots of shakeups. New president.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can hear us or not, but your audio is coming through your computer into the show. I see that you're locked up again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, well, let's carry on then.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
to execute an omoplata though, to execute that, I mean, you gotta think about how many fights has occurred in the
And that
UFC.
was nasty looking too. That wasn't just a typical. I mean, that was. I've
Hmm.
never seen an omoplata put on like that, man.
See, I didn't see it. I wish I did.
Oh
Like, I
man, it
have to
looked
look
like he
it
was
up.
going to rip his friggin' arm off. It was nasty. You know how
Oh
you
man,
usually see an omoplata and you go, wow, man, that's kind of hard to
yeah.
make that out.
Hmm.
But this was clear cut. I mean,
It was all right. Hold on, I have to look at this one now. I can't like ignore it any longer.
yeah,
Oh
but it was
man.
pretty impressive there. Like you're saying, I understand that go over to Bellator and people think it's a death sentence or a prison camp for the fighters,
Hmm.
but really, it's like a second chance for them.
Yeah, it
And
is.
yeah, we were talking about all the changes going on over there. I mean, since Coker got in, he's doing all kinds of changes. I mean, a lot of people seem to think that the guys that fight in Bellator, you know, have questionable backgrounds and things like that, which
Hmm.
is true. Some of them do, and it looks like Coker wanted to clean that up a little bit, which is, Rebney really didn't care. He was taking on pretty much everybody,
Taking on
and
anything that I don't understand it, but
yeah, and he had those Russian guys that were looking good for a while over there.
and they're thinking about signing Mayhem back.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Which
Um,
is
what do you think?
very weird. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think so too. I agree with you.
arrested several times. The guy, he's a bit of a head case,
A bit.
to say the least.
That's being kind.
Yeah, that's being very kind. Mayhem has become a bit of a head case, to say the least. And last fight he had, what, his last three fights, he looked horrible.
Yeah, yeah, he did not look good at all in his last
Oh
several
man.
fights. I mean, I don't have his record in front of me or anything, but you know, I, when he did that movie, did you see the show with Ariel Helwani where he was interviewing
Hmm.
Mayhem, and
Yep.
Mayhem was in character, and he flipped out on the show and walked out on Helwani?
I felt so bad. I was looking at that and I'm like, oh, his career is over now. Okay.
Yeah,
He's not stepping back into the octagon. Like, he's not stepping back into the camera at all. He shouldn't,
yeah.
if that's how he's going to be. But
And then
yeah,
he got in
looking at,
trouble after that.
he got arrested at a church,
Yeah,
and then he got into a fight with what's the kid's name? He came second in the Ultimate Fighter.
I don't recall.
Oh man, Uriah Hall.
Oh yes, Uriah
Yeah,
Hall.
he
I
got into a
remember
fight
that.
with Uriah Hall. He called
Yeah.
him the N word. I don't understand why.
Did he really?
Yeah, he called him the N word at a club.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yes.
hmm so the guy has just been losing his mind. Now they're talking about signing him back.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not the
I don't
brightest
agree with
thing.
that move. I mean, what they're doing now is I don't know if you've heard, but Coker came out the other day and said what they're going to do is they're going to do away with some of the tournaments that they're going. They don't want to be strictly a tournament format.
All right, I
Um,
like that.
yeah, they want to go with building stars rather than building a tournament or the name of
Hmm.
the event or whatever. And he also said he wanted to clean up some of the talent that was there now, and he has. He's done quite a bit of a shaking up, and he also said that they're going to move away from the weekly format and move to a monthly format, which would give them more time to put things together that would be more
Yeah,
interesting for the fans.
instead of the tournament style.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have always hated the tournament style. I
Me
can
too. I never
fully
liked it.
admit
I mean, I
that.
used to watch the IFL too, and
Mm-mm.
I didn't care for that really, but I watched it because combat sports is the only thing I watch as far
Yeah,
as
yeah, same here.
sports go.
Yeah, pretty much. And just looking at it, and I just couldn't stand it because all right, once you're out the tournament, you're done. Or did they get a chance to fight again after that?
Yeah, I never really got the whole tournament thing because
Mm-hmm.
they would go on and on and on and on and on, and it's
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the old days when they used to have a tournament, it would be a tournament in an evening, and you fight 3 or 4 times.
Yep. Yeah, and that was another confusing thing. Do you fight once and then you take like 2 months off to train for the next fight, or
Yeah,
like I really didn't get it.
and that's the way that it evolved to, and that's why it's not so interesting because once you go into a fight, you have a fight, you're going to have to sit out for a period of time, depending upon, what the commission dictates as far as,
Mm-hmm.
suspension time or whatever goes for after fight, medical issues or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of takes away, because who the hell is going to remember what's going on from tournament to tournament, and.
Exactly.
But when they did it
Yeah.
all on the same night, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, because you got several injuries that came in, whether the fighter was fatigued, you had to determine all this type of things. So, with all the commission coming in, and on top of that, what happens after you win the tournament? Do you get to fight the champion?
Right.
Like, I never got it.
Yeah, well, and that was another thing too. They didn't really want to go with champions right away and belts and things like that. But it was just really like it was not the best run MMA organization when Rebney was there. And I said that a couple of times, and people got angry with me for that and downvoted me on videos and things like that. Stopped following me, but the truth is the truth, man.
Yeah, the truth is the truth. Can't deny that at all. But the guy Ben Saunders, he came in to pull that off. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. And for those who don't know, Ben Saunders defeated Chris Heatherly by submission due to omoplata in round 1 at 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's move on there. We did enough talking about Bellator and everything like that. All right, let's go on to the first fight that was on the preliminary card on Fox Sports 2. And that was Tom Ninamaki versus Chaz Skelly. I didn't know much about either of these guys, most especially Chaz Skelly.
Mm-hmm.
Were you familiar with these guys? I mean, I know the Ninamaki name. I just can't. He doesn't ring a bell in my head as far as anything that.
No, I don't know who this Chaz Skelly guy is, but he's 1-1 so far in the UFC. So I'm not sure what he he brings to the table or anything, but he seems subpar. He only has two TKOs in his whole career. So he isn't much of a power puncher at all. More of a submission guy. The guy, I don't know. I have to see more of him. Like, I didn't see his fight at all.
Yeah, when I spoke with Damon on the last show that we did, we were actually talking on the last show about Eddie Alvarez signing with the UFC, and then we briefly touched on this. We didn't plan it out. This event, we just kind of spoke about the fights and off the cuff there, and I didn't prepare for any. I didn't look up any of the information on any of the guys, because as I was looking at this card, I'm saying to myself, there's not really a whole lot of fights on here that I want to see.
Exactly.
I mean, Karma, I like Francis Karma. I did want to see the main event with Benson Henderson and Rafael dos Anjos, but that was, basically it, because then you had Max Holloway, which was a fighter that I liked. But, he had that last-minute replacement with Clay Collard. I kept saying Collard on the last show, but just because I live in South Florida, and when I see a double L, I automatically think of Y.
Yeah.
So, there just wasn't a whole lot that I wanted to see on that one. So.
And, yeah, if you're looking at the start from top to bottom, it's boring to call it what it is. You have the co-main event features Mike Pyle. I don't think I can get into that. If you're like, as much as I love the mullet, I can't get into him being the co-main event at all.
That was a last-minute replacement fight, though, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah, I think so, because he was expected to fight. Who was it?
Damian Maia was initially who was slated to fight.
Yep. He was expected to fight Damian Maia. And even then, I still wouldn't be intrigued by that. I mean, Jordan Maia versus Damian Maia?
Yeah.
I really can't buy into that.
Yeah.
Especially with the fight that happened before that, with the Bisbing versus Tom Lee fight.
Oh, yeah, and that was on the China versus the China Macau. What was it? Macau? What was it?
I forgot where. I know it was over in China, so the fight took place way early in our morning.
Yeah, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning over here. And, I actually, on the last show we spoke about that one too, and I actually got that one called right on. Dana and I also spoke about that one briefly. You know, we didn't go into predictions really, but we did get predictions. We just said I see XYZ winning by, and we didn't really do any predictions. Yeah, I called Michael Bisping by TKO in that one.
Not that bad.
And holy shit, did he just beat the living hell out of Kung Lee, didn't
he? He gave him half of an eye by the end of the fight.
Yeah, that was brutal, man. Did you see the picture I posted on the site?
Yeah. It was brutal. Oh, man.
Oh, man, that was nasty. I feel so bad for him.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think's going to happen from there? Because that was a pure beatdown, and you know, not too bad considering, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, Mikey, I call him Mikey, a lot of people say that Mikey has pillow fists.
Pillow fists. You know? I'll be the one to say he does. I still think he has pillow fists. I mean,
yeah. He's to me, he's a point fighter. You know.
I think he punches in bunches. He has to throw combos, or he's not going to knock you out with just one solid punch.
Yeah.
That was evident versus his fight with Mayhem. He hit Mayhem with literally everything he could.
Yeah.
And did nothing. But when he drags you to the 4th and 5th round, all those punches start to come together and start taking their toll on you. That was evident in the Kung Lee fight.
Exactly. Kung Lee, his really only chance to win that one was to land, you know, the heavy shots early on, and you know, round 2 and 3. And if he didn't get it by then, it was definitely not going to favor him, which turned out to be the case.
And it's evident because Kung Lee is 42 years old.
Yeah.
You let a 42-year-old man go to the 4th round with you?
Yeah, for those who don't know, Michael Bisping defeated Kung Lee by TKO due to strikes at 57 seconds of round 4. So, what do you think happens to Kung Lee from here, man?
I hate to say retirement, but man, what more can you do?
Yeah, it probably is time. I would agree with you on that.
I mean, you can always go back into acting. You can do that into well into your 60s.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have all that many fights, and he doesn't really stay that active in, you know, the professional, you know, MMA game. You know, he does, you know, a fight here and there, and then he goes and acts, and then comes back and does another fight. And
he took 2 years off before the Bisping fight. So.
Yeah. Was that his first fight? Yeah, that's right. He fought Rich Franklin, knocked Franklin out in his last fight, didn't he?
Yep. But that was like, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years?
Yeah, that was a while ago, yeah.
So,
but yeah, it was sad to see him get beat up like that, man. That was just
very sad.
But not bad for Mikey. Congrats, Michael Bisping.
Oh, man. But yeah, back to this card.
What fight were we on? We were talking about
Max Holloway versus Clay.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, and this is why I was really hoping to have Damon on the show, and why I hung out so long before we started the show, because we kind of disagreed. You know, we did the live chat thread on the site, and we were kind of disagreeing the whole time, all night long, as to how the fights were going and how to score the rounds and things like that. Because you know, when the fights are happening, we do a live chat thread where we, you know, give our points and our opinions about what should be scored. And we just were not seeing eye to eye. And I thought in that fight, early on in the first round, you know, I thought that Holloway was actually getting the better of him early on there when they were striking, standing up a little bit, and then Holloway got to the ground, and then he went to the ground for a brief moment, and then came right back up, you know. So it didn't look like he wanted to be on the ground. It didn't look like he was doing that while standing. But then within the last minute and a half or so, he kind of turned things around and just took
Max Holloway, the guy, he's deceptively strong. I was watching him fight. I forgot who I was watching him fight, but he hit him with body shot after body shot. And the guy, he's really talented. Really, really talented.
Yeah, I like the guy.
Yeah, I really do like Max Holloway.
And he's really classy, too, because, you know, Clay Collard stepped in, you know, with 10 days' notice to fill the void when, you know, the jumble, you know, took place and things were, you know, changed up on the card there with Damian Lai getting injured. And, you know, nice of the kid to step up, take it on 10 days' notice. I mean, you know, he looked good in places. I believe that was his UFC debut, too. And he looked pretty good in places there, but man, he just started taking a beating in that second round.
Mm.
And then, man, did you see that fight?
Versus Clay?
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually, but I'm researching it now.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought he, could have gotten the first round, but then, and like I said, in the last minute and a half, I thought Holloway stole it and, did a little bit more damage, accumulatively in that last minute and a half and what transpired earlier. And then the second round, I believe I gave to Holloway 10-9, and then also the third round,
TKO.
yeah, he was just beating him in that round.
He wasn't trying to go to a decision.
Yeah, I actually thought that it was going to be a submission in round 2, and then when I saw in round 3 that he was beating him down in round 3, I was like, maybe with the beatdown, he's because he kept taking the back and getting the double hooks in, and flattening him out, and then he just went to the striking, and when he tried to submit him a couple times, but he didn't try as hard to submit him as he did to TKO him with the strikes. But
the last 4 fights all ended in TKOs. Wow, that's rare.
That was a good fight. And for people who don't know, Max Holloway defeated Clay Collard by TKO due to punches at 3:47 in round 3. And like I said early on, the kid looked pretty good, but once he started those roars, he took a pretty bad beating.
Yeah, he really, really did. Oh man.
And then there was that other fight.
Leites versus Francis Tremont.
No, the other one where the two guys was Vic. You recall who it was? It was Vic and
hold on.
Valmir Lazaro versus James Vick. Did you see that one?
No, hold on 1 second. I didn't actually.
It was kind of sloppy, man.
Oh, see, that's why I didn't see it.
Oh man, it was sloppy as hell. I couldn't believe the way those two guys were just throwing punches. It was like not much technique and skill. It was just like wild aggression,
Some fights are like that, and when you have those fights, you always have to wonder, like, how do these guys get in?
Yeah, that was another fight where David and I disagreed because it was again, the situation where I said to him, I gave the first round, to Vic in that one, I believe is what I told him, and he disagreed with me, but I was like, holy shit, Lazaro keeps getting rocked. Time and time again. I mean, he was on stinky legs numerous times.
He had spaghetti knees the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad, and what really impressed me was the kind of shot that Lazaro could take and not get knocked out because holy shit. I mean, if Joe Rogan would have been calling that when he would have said made his famous quote where he says Lazaro seems to be on Queer Street with those shots.
Yeah. Oh man, I have to see it. I missed out on so much. I seriously thought the fight card was taking place today.
Oh man,
I'm not sure why.
Dude, it was unbelievable. I mean, he kept getting rocked, and he would come through and land a couple of shots, but damn, he would get, and he wasn't rocking Vic the way that Vic was rocking him. And it was like, man, his legs kept, turning to spaghetti, and he was wobbling and shit, doing this dance,
He's making him do the famous dance.
Yeah, man, I thought, oh my God, he's going to get knocked out. There's no way he's going to. And Damon disagreed with me on that. I mean, round 1 I gave to Vic. Damon disagreed with that. Then in round 2, it became obvious that Vic was actually doing more damage. And I even said to him, I just think with all the the shaky legs that are going on, the judges are definitely going to notice that.
Yeah.
And they're definitely going to give the fight to him. I mean, you can't keep on getting rocked like that and barely able to stand on your feet over and over in a fight and be expected to win the fight.
2 judges actually gave Lazaro a round. So they scored it 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28.
Yeah, that one.
So they actually gave one.
Yeah, that one there, for those who don't know, James Vick defeats Valmir and Lazaro by unanimous
Valamir.
reading 29-28, 30-27, 29-20. I actually scored a 30-27 with the one judge, and I did concede that it could be 29-28
Yeah.
for Vic.
Probably one of those rounds. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of close because it was so sloppy until Lazaro started just getting rocked over and over. I mean, after the second round, there was just continually he was getting rocked.
After a certain point, you just can't deny what's actually happening. Then after that,
yeah.
I've seen that happen numerous times.
Yeah. So he wound up losing that one there by unanimous decision, and like I said, the only thing he really impressed me with was his ability to take a shot and not get knocked the fuck out.
Well, the chin. That's when you got a strong chin, you'll survive for an awfully long time.
Yeah, but that was brutal. I mean, it wasn't real beat down brutal type thing, but man, he was just.
It was brutal enough.
Yeah, every time he hit him and he wobbled him, I'm like, oh, geez, that must have hurt.
Oh man, I have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, and then let's see, was there any other fight that we didn't speak about earlier there? Yeah, we said that Chaz Skelly and Tom Ninamaki. We're familiar with either one of those, but both Damon and I actually chose Skelly to win that one. I think we said decision, but he actually defeated Tom Ninamaki by submission due to rear naked choke round 1 at 2:35. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then moving on from that one there, the fight that was a major upset that we were speaking about just a little while ago, we didn't really go into details on it, Francis Coleman versus Thales Leites.
I am so disappointed with Francis Carmont.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, he was killing him the first round, It's a first round stand-up battle. Those kicks he were landing with.
Yeah, he knocked him right off his feet. Once or twice he knocked him down like that.
Oh man, those leg kicks were downright brutal.
Yeah.
And Leites, he's more of a submission-based fighter. He wants to stay to the ground.
Yeah.
Every time, and nobody expected that.
He looked real strong, man. He looked very muscular, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked more stocky than usual.
Yeah. I kept thinking to myself, damn, he's looking awfully pumped up.
Yeah, usually he has like a Damian Mayan type body type, where it's not very strong at all, more lean. But no, this time he came in looking like, what's his name? Thiago Silva.
Yeah. Not as brutal looking, but yeah.
Not as brutal looking, no. But more stocky.
Yeah, it was definitely, and I'm looking at that and going, holy shit, man, I wasn't thinking this one was going to go this way.
Yeah, and what did it? Was it a uppercut that did it, or?
Oh man, it was a right uppercut right on the chin. Yep. We heard him with some shots before that, but
it was an uppercut that just.
Yeah, he threw that right uppercut, landed on the chin. I was like, oh my god.
And he just curled up, and he knew the fight was over after that. He didn't want any parts of it.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Oh man, but those first rounds, Francis Carmont looked like he had it. He looked like it was just another sparring session.
Yeah, he was pretty much dominating in my opinion. I mean, I clearly scored round 1 for Carmont.
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
I thought it was just going to go 2 more rounds like that, and then
that's what I thought.
To a decision.
Yep.
Oh man, but where do you see Leites going from here? I mean, because he's middle of the pack type fighter.
Yeah, I don't remember what his ranking was. Do you recall what his ranking was in the UFC?
He couldn't have been top 15. Oh, he's 14.
Is he?
Yep, he was number 14.
And where was Carmont? He was ranked 10, wasn't he?
He had to be top 10. Yeah, I think he was top 10 or at itself.
Yeah, and he had just moved up because he had a couple of good wins in a row, didn't he?
Yep, he had a couple of good fights, and I think he fought. Who did he fight before? I forgot who he fought beforehand, but he put on a very, very, very good performance then too.
What weight class were they?
Middleweight.
Middleweight.
Yep. Oh, Francis Tremont, he's number 12.
Oh, number 12?
Yep. And I believe, hold on, if I'm correct, I think he fought Kostas Philippou.
Oh, and Thales Leites was
No,
ranked
he fought
15.
CB Dalloway. That's who he fought.
Yeah, I thought Clement was 10. Maybe I was looking at other rankings and I
Oh,
saw
no, before this fight, he was ranked number 9.
Oh, he was?
Yep.
Huh. Well, usually they don't change the rankings that fast. I just pulled up the UFC rankings page. Yeah, they got him at 12 and Leites at 15. Usually they don't update the rankings until Monday or Tuesday, I think.
Yeah. All right, I might be reading some inaccurate information right now then. That's possibly what's going on. But, yeah. If he's at 12 now, then he's sure to be at number 15, or they'll probably switch them positions.
Yeah, I think that's probably likely to happen.
Wow, Kostas Philippou, I mean, not Kostas Philippou, but Francis Tremont, he's on the 3-fight losing streak now.
Is it a 3-fight losing streak?
Yep, he fought Jacare, and then he fought CB Dalloway, and now he just lost this one.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I could have thought he was on a 2-fight streak. You could tell I didn't do my research.
Yeah. Yeah, because before that he was on the 2-fight streak. He beat Lorenz Larkin, and then he beat Kostas Philippou.
Yeah, let me pull up that share dog here.
And now he's on a 3-fight losing streak, which is crazy.
That's not good.
You know, that not even in UFC, they have too much talent for you to be on a 3-fight losing streak.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they don't like you and you lose 2 in a row, you got a good shot of being cut.
Even if they do if they don't like you, even if you do win, chances are you'll get cut. Example, Yushin Okami.
Yeah, well, yeah, they didn't care for his style. They did the same thing with John Fitch as well.
John Fitch, yeah. Unfortunate. Just that guy. He's still one of my favorite fighters, even though he's boring, yes.
No, you are correct. I just pulled up the ShareDog Fight Finder page for Cologne, and that is 3 losses in a row. KO decision.
Shopping block.
Certainly is. That's both feet on the chopping block.
Yeah. I mean, but chances are he's just having a bad year. All these fights came in 2014, so.
Yeah. Wow, I hope they
just take a break.
Well, maybe they tried to rush him too fast, but you know, you got that win over Kostas Philippou, Lorenz Larkin. You know.
Oh man, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, I don't think they cut him though, because he's excited.
Yeah. It's
a shame that he got knocked out like that, but and that was a clear. I call that a KTFO. That wasn't really just a knockout; it was a KTFO.
Yeah. Not all the way out. He didn't just get knocked out. That was a brutal. That knocks off 2 years of your life when you get knocked out like that.
Yeah, that was shocking. I like I said, I didn't do any research on the fights before they happened, so I don't know where he was ranked, what the odds makers thought, or anything like that. But I was not expecting that. I don't think many people were.
And opposite of that, Leites, he's on a 7-fight win streak.
Wow.
Yeah, so
maybe he'll move up even higher than the number 12 spot then.
Yeah, so that could possibly put him in top 10.
Yeah, I think that'll probably put him in the top 10 then, because I didn't realize he was on such a streak, and he's got some names there of fighters who were supposed to be big names coming into the UFC. He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in the UFC, but he also beat that Tor Troig, that Swedish dude.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
They brought him into the UFC recently, and then Tom Watson, who's supposed to be a big thing coming into the UFC.
Yeah.
Ed Herman, beat Ed
Short
Herman
fuse.
decision. Yeah.
God
what do you
bless
think of Ed Herman? I was never a big fan of him. I didn't care for him.
Oh man, I'm a big fan of Ed Herman, man.
You like him?
Based off the nickname alone, I like Ed Herman. But as a fighter, he's pretty average. But
well, he struggled kind of early on.
Yeah.
I mean, on Tough, he didn't look all that good. He didn't impress me because he kept doing that, I'm a badass, I'm the baddest motherfucker, and kind of like almost like War Machine was doing when he was on. I'm the baddest dude. And then he was kind of struggling there.
Yeah.
And then, he got into the UFC and he struggled in the UFC. I mean, I actually thought he was going to be, cut it, early on.
I mean, but the guy, somehow he managed. Yeah, somehow he managed to survive all this time though. Just kind of crazy because usually you don't see that with a fighter who struggles early on.
You
Usually they cut them right away.
yeah, 7 losses in the UFC. I mean,
Oh,
there's only 2 runs where he had 2 consecutive losses in a row in the UFC. Like I said, his first 2 fights were Kemba Grove and Jason McDonald, and then his next 2 losses in a row were Damian Maia, Alan Belcher. Then he lost to Aaron Simpson at UFC 102 back in 2009, and he lost to Souza, like you mentioned there, at Strikeforce.
mm-hmm.
So, man,
He
I guess he
loses.
did. I guess he did leave the UFC for a while. I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah, went to Strikeforce and then he came back and the guy he loses to a lot of middle of the pack fighters.
You know?
Like he's more lower class talent, but it's just somebody they used to keep around. I don't understand why, but
Yeah, I mean, he's got a win over Scott Smith back in 2007. That's, pretty
yeah,
impressive because
yeah,
Smith was, a viable
yeah.
fight back at that day.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Who
But
do you
not to
see
mention,
Leites fight
not to,
next?
well, I'm not really good at doing matchmaking.
Oh, yeah, all right.
When I hear fights matched up, if I hear a fight and I go, wow, that's good, or that's bad, it strikes me like that. But as far as matching fighters up, let me take a look at the division here.
The
Because I
ranking.
think both you and I, think that he should probably go up to number 10 with that win, because that was a
Mm-hmm.
nasty-ass knockout. So I agree with you, Matt. Maybe he should go up to 10. Carmel should probably drop down to 15.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Mikey just probably moved up pretty big as well with that nasty beatdown of
Oh
Conor.
man, that probably put Mike. That probably put Bisbee in like top 7, top 6.
Yeah, I was thinking probably 5 or 6 because he was
Mm-hmm.
actually ranked 4 before he took a couple of losses. And that's another thing with Mikey. He has a hard time and struggles with the big name fighters when he gets his opportunity. He usually falls short. You know.
I mean, but look at the top 7 though. The
Yeah.
top 7 is just nasty when it comes to the middleweight division.
Oh yeah, no
You
doubt.
got Silva, listen to the name: Silva, Machida, Belfort, Jacare, Luke Rockhold, Tim Kennedy, and Gerard Masazi.
So why don't we say Thales Leites versus Mikey Bisping next? They'll be ready to fight around the same time.
Yeah, they would, but as they say, styles make matchups. I really don't see that. That
What do
wouldn't.
you What do you think?
Probably who would I? Probably CB Dalloway. To be honest, CB Dalloway or
He's
what's the name?
currently ranked number 9, Dalloway.
Yep. I'd probably like to see him fight CB Dalloway or Gerard Masazi.
Yeah, but do you think Dalloway will want to take that fight? It's a do nothing fight for him.
Oh, good point. Or Yoel Romero.
Well, Romero, yeah,
He's ranked 11.
that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But would Leites want to take that fight if he breaks into the top 10 spot?
And hopefully, Uncle Dana can make some big promises on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting when you're looking at the division. Like you said, Anderson Silva number 1. He's going to be fighting Nick Diaz in January.
Yeah.
Machida number 2. But, again, these are the rankings from the press, and they wildly fluctuate.
Yeah, oof. Sometimes it don't make any sense why the rankings are the way they are, but
And what about Tim Kennedy?
Tim Kennedy, I'm not sure how I feel about the guy. He's so all around. He's like an everyday fighter, if you ask me. He's like the
I didn't give him much credit when he came over to the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was more, and I'm not disrespecting the man or anything like that. I'm just, saying, looking at UFC versus Strikeforce, because he came over from Strikeforce.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was more geared for that level of competition in Strikeforce. So I really didn't give him all that much of a shot coming over to the UFC, but he's impressed the hell out of me. I mean, Hodrick Gracie, decision. Rafael Natal, KO, and 1. Michael Bisping, decision.
See, man, I don't know what it is. I just can't get with him.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
He's also got a win over Robbie Lawler.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I really want to be a fan, but I'm not sure why. I just can't.
maybe you're not a fan of his brand of trash talking, because he actually tries to pick up where Chael Sonnen left
Yeah,
off.
but it's so boring. Oh man.
Yeah, no
I
one
look
does
at
it as
his.
good as Chael.
Nobody. I look at his trash talk and I go, "Come on, man. Really? That's all you have to say?"
Well,
he
but you know,
plays
he
it
had a
safe.
couple of funny things there. I posted one of the things on the side. I don't know if you saw the thread that I created. It was I'm going to look it up because it was kind of funny. I
Oh no,
mean,
he's fighting Yoel Romero next.
oh wow, that's a big step up for Romero. So then
Yep.
Romero probably isn't going to want to take that fight.
They're fighting September.
No, I meant with
Oh yeah, with
Leites.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh man. Wow,
yeah,
playing
it's kind of
matchmaking is harder than I thought.
yeah, kind of complicated. That's why I'm no good at this, man. You know, because you look at everybody, and unless you know exactly who's fighting who and how far out down the road, and you know, do they have an injury, or they,
hmm
it's so hard to keep on top of it.
Oh man. Yeah, looking at this now, this might be tougher than I thought.
Yeah, but it was. I think it was actually Tim Kennedy. Um, he was actually calling out Mikey Bisping at one point,
hmm
and Michael Bisping actually didn't think um, he deserved the shot. And
Hmm.
damn it, I can't find that comment that was made, but it said something about. Oh man, I can't recall it. It was something about how Mikey was loose. He said something about he would smother the fighter, and I can't find it. I'm looking for it and I can't find it.
All right.
Bummer. It was pretty humorous though. You know,
Yeah.
it was something that you would laugh at and snicker at because it was kind of fun.
He has a couple of them. He has his moments.
Oh, here I found it. Took me forever to find it, but I did find it. Um, let's see. All right, so it was a tweet that
hmm
Michael Bisping made. He says, "So Luke Rockhold called me out. I'm more than happy to oblige. At least this fight, he will not try to dry hump me. Let's go ahead and do this." And then it went back and forth between them a little bit. And he said, Tim Kennedy responded to him. He goes, "At Michael Bisping, at UFC, at Luke Rockhold. If you weren't so loose, I would have been done sooner. For your information, Luke will smash you too."
Oh man,
So it was
Luke. I'm about to say
pretty
Luke
fun.
beat him.
And that was pretty clever, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
If you weren't so loose, I'd finish quicker.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, Luke Rockhold. That guy's good. I did sometimes I get him and Tim Kennedy confused. Don't know why.
Yeah, me too. The same thing with me.
hmm
I'm
Yeah, I
glad you
really
said
don't
that
know.
because I felt like an idiot for the longest time making that mistake.
No, I don't understand why, but I just get the two confused.
I do the same thing. That's funny that you said that, man. But yeah, Luke Rockhold, man, he's only got that one loss to Vitor Belfort.
Vitor, which was kind of fluky in a way, but
Yeah,
Vitor Belfort is a freak of nature.
he is.
A spinning back kick? Come on now.
Yeah, spinning heel kick.
Yeah, spinning heel kick.
Yeah,
Knocked him right out.
yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yep. But then he came back right after that and got the win over Costas Philippou
And
and
Timbo.
Boach.
hmm It's just crazy too. Not a big fan of either, but I respect Luke Rockhold way more than Tim Kennedy's fighting style.
All right, so we still then didn't really find a man for him to fight yet, then.
Oh man! All right, this is tough, man. All right. Let me see. Who would I have Leites fight? If the world was perfect, who would? Oh, Tim Bosch.
He's number 14.
Mm-hmm.
Did he win? He won his last fight, didn't he?
I believe so. Who did he fight last?
That was just recently.
Yeah, he just had a recent fight. he just had a recent fight. He seems like a bigger middleweight. I think
Yeah, when I see him,
it
he
was a
looks
middle
like
of the pack guy.
he looks like
Yeah.
a monster of a man, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But in reality,
He's only 5'11".
yeah. But
Oh man, he's
if you
he's
see him
looking
on
bad. He
screen, he
did
looks
beat
way
Brad
bigger.
Tavares with that TKO, and that was pretty impressive.
Brad Tavares, that's what it was. I knew it was a middle of the pack type of a guy. So
Yeah, but he wasn't. Brad Tavares was, I believe, the favorite in that one by oddsmakers and fans.
wow. See, I wouldn't expect that.
Mm.
Be the favorite in that.
Yeah, but he's got like he's in that nasty pattern. Lost win, lost win.
I mean, yeah, when you beat somebody like Hector Lombard, many people expect you to continue that trend, you know.
Yeah, and Yushin Okami as well.
Yeah, he beat Yushin Okami, beat Hector Lombard, and then he'll lose to Mark Munoz.
Yeah, and then Kendall Grove, when a lot of people thought that Kendall Grove was better than he actually is. I hate to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it was true.
Yeah.
It was more than truth.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that because people get mad when you speak the truth, but, you know, that is the truth. I mean, he went over to that I can't remember the organization. He went over to some Hawaiian organization, and he was supposed to be the big deal there, and he got his ass handed to him in that organization.
He's always supposed to be the big deal. He won didn't he win the Ultimate Fighter?
I believe he did.
Yep, he won one season of the Ultimate Fighter, and many people were like, "Oh man, this guy, he's going to be the next big thing." But every time, you know, he falters.
Yeah, I'm going back looking the Ultimate Fighter finale. Oh no, I guess he didn't because he fought Damian Maya in the Ultimate Fighter 12 finale. Unless it goes back before that, I can't. Oh, Ultimate Fighter 7. He beat Evan Tanner.
Oh, wow. Rest in peace.
Split decision. So I guess that was for the championship of. No, Evan Tanner wouldn't be fighting in the Ultimate Fighter.
No. He would no.
Oh, it goes back even further. It was Ed Herman. Ed Herman in Ultimate Fighter.
Short fuse.
Yes.
He goes full circle.
Yep. So he beats Ed Herman. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny.
And Ed Herman's still around and
still around to this day, man. The guy's a survivor.
Well, Killer Grove is not.
Yeah,
Killer Grove. It's really funny because he got so much better. I mean, there was like we were talking about Ed Herman a little earlier there, where he seemed to be struggling for a little bit, and then he wind up turning things around. And again, he's now struggling once again in the UFC with lost win. Thing,
yep.
You know.
Oh man, so I'd have him fight Tim Bosch.
Okay. All right, I'll buy that. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a why not fight, you know. Oh man.
And you got Mark Munoz in there. Is he injured or what?
Mark Munoz, I think he just lost his last fight. Hold on, I think so. I'm not sure. He's been on a bit of a skid as of late.
Yeah. I mean, he looked so promising early on, and then
he just drops him every time.
Yeah.
Yep. He just lost his last one.
Oh yeah, he's in a bad way. But he's losing to big name fighters, man. Chris Weidman, Lyoto Machida, and Gegard Mousasi.
I mean, but eventually you have to make the man take a step back. I mean, you can't have him keep fighting Lyoto Machidas and top 5 guys.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Michael Bisping syndrome when you get those top guys like that, you just can't beat them, you know.
Yeah, you have to know your rating at a point.
And did he lose to Mikey, or they never fought?
I don't believe they ever fought.
I thought they were supposed to fight at one point. I think
they never fought.
I think it got put off for Munoz getting hurt or something like that.
Yeah, either somebody got hurt or something happened, but they never fought.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Here you go. He also beat Kendall Grove.
Yep. He beat Kendall Grove.
CB Dalloway, Damian Maya, Chris Lieben. Wow.
So he has some names on his list who he's whooped up.
Yeah, I wonder what the problem seems to be. It looks like it's the the typical syndrome when a fighter winds up getting a KO or a brutal TKO stoppage, that they want to, you know, start just slugging it out like that. And maybe that's what his problem is.
I mean, and you can't keep putting the guy in top 5 contention.
Yeah.
You know.
But in any event, he's ranked number 13, so.
Yeah, I would say keep him around that area.
Yeah.
But don't send him to a top 4 fighter, you know.
So maybe Leites Munoz.
Ooh. That's a good that'd be a good ground matchup. I'd certainly like to see that. Yeah. Let's see where they go next with this. I'm interested.
Okay, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, shame for Francis Carmon, but hats off to Thales Leites, man. That was pretty impressive. And for those of you who don't know, again, Thales Leites defeated Francis Carmon by knockout due to punches in round 2 at 20 seconds, and it was a brutal knockout.
Yeah, very brutal. Very brutal.
Okay, now let's talk about that other fight here. Jordan Meehan versus Mike Pyle. What did you think about that one?
I thought, wow, this shouldn't be a co-main event, but it was a good fight while it did last. I didn't expect Mike Pyle to get knocked out because they say Mike Pyle is, in fact, the best training partner of all time.
Was that the co-main?
Right, yeah, that was the co-main event. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, you are correct.
They call Mike Pyle the best training partner of all time.
And that was because this card was also one of the cards that were shaken up a bit, wasn't it?
Yep. I forgot who was supposed to fight who, but I know an injury occurred, and
yeah, there were like 3 or 4 changes on this card, I believe. Yeah, I think.
Mike Pyle was originally scheduled to fight Damian Maia.
Right.
But Damian Maia, they say, had staph infection. Oof, nasty.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a little busy sometimes in the background working on the site there, and I just disconnected from some of the action sometimes. You know, or I'm working on other things and pictures and images and stuff that I create for the site. But yeah, that one, I don't think anybody foresaw that one going the way that it did. And for those of you who do not know, Jordan Meehan defeats Mike Pyle by TKO due to punches at 112 of round 1, and that was another nasty,
brutal knockout. He hit him with 3 hooks straight.
Yeah.
He hit him with the first hook that wobbled him, and then the second and third one just did it.
Yeah, and I actually thought it was going to be scored a knockout, but if they scored it,
TKO. And what defines the lines between the two? That's what confuses me.
Yeah, and I see, and it is a bit blurred because I do see at times when fighters go boom down to the ground, their legs are out, and then they'll call that a knockout. And then sometimes when that happens, the guy hits the ground, he wakes back up, and then he takes a couple more shots. Then the ref comes in and stops it. That's pretty much a designation. When the referee comes in and stops the fight, jumps in between the men, that designates a TKO typically. But you can also see a guy get knocked out and the ref jump in to stop further damage too. So it gets a little confusing at times. Yeah, but typically when a fighter is boom knocked out, hits the ground, head, bounces up off the canvas and his legs are gone, that's typically a KO. But that one was close to being scored that way, I thought.
It should have been the KO. That certainly should have been the KO. He hit him with 3 straight hooks and Pyle was just out. That was
nasty,
nothing we could have did. Huh?
That was nasty, wasn't it?
Oh, very nasty. Oh man, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Poor Mike Pyle. The guy has been around for so long, You expect him to piece it all together eventually, but unfortunately, no. Just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and Jordan Meehan,
young guy.
Yeah. And also he had to go without his full corner there helping him. I don't want to go into the reasons for that because I don't know all the details for it. But age 24, 5'11", 170 pounds, 29-9.
Wow, the guy's only 24 years old. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got the win over Mike Pyle and Perpetuo. He lost to Matt Brown, but there's no shame in that.
Yeah, no shame in that at all, man.
Beat Dan Miller, and he lost to Tyron Woodley as well.
I had no issue with that either.
No. So those are his only 2 losses in the UFC.
I'll be happy with that record, man.
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy.
2 tough guys.
Yeah, it's insane power too.
And they're both in top 3, I believe, aren't they?
Yep. Both in top 5 contention, certainly. So you can't really be mad at that. I mean, oh man, yeah. Especially at the age of 24, you have a lot of time, an insane amount of time ahead of you.
Yeah. Canadian kid.
Yeah. Those Canadians always tough.
Yeah. So in the UFC, he's got a pretty good looking record there. He's 3 wins and 1 loss. So. Not bad at all, and when he had that fight with Tyron Woodley, that was back in Strikeforce, so he's looking pretty good in the UFC.
Really is. I want to see him fight again, to be honest.
Where do you think he goes in the rankings now?
Certainly higher. Let me see. Where is he ranked right now?
He is at welterweight, and he is ranked not in the UFC rankings.
And wow. And what's surprising me too is that he has over 30. He has over 30 fights in his record.
Yeah.
Only 24.
35, I think, right?
Huh?
No,
no, 38. Yeah, 38 fights.
Yep.
And he's only 24 years old. But the issue with that is he could possibly have the what is his name? The Melvin Gillard syndrome. Because Melvin Gillard, he had like 60-something fights at the age of like 25.
I love that dude. I thought he was great.
He choked when it mattered.
Yep.
That was always his issue, and
we see that with a lot of guys who have so much promise, but again, we mentioned with a couple of fighters that we spoke about already. Some fighters, they just get to that level, and they get to that tier, and it's like they hit a brick wall, and they just can't get past that top 5. And even though we were speaking about Mikey earlier, he did eventually get past the top 5. I don't know if it was actually warranted because he was actually ranked at number 4 at one point.
Yeah, at one point, yeah. That's before people like Lyoto Machida came down and the Strikeforce fighters came around. Yeah, the Strikeforce imports. That's before they came around.
Yeah, but looking in that division there, I do not know where he is ranked because he's not in the top 15 of the UFC.
I mean, yeah, he's only 3-1 right now, so.
Yeah. But that was a pretty brutal knockout there, so he's obviously going to get some recognition for that. I mean,
eventually they have to recognize that.
Mike Tile was ranked number 13, so he's surely going to move up to 13, don't you think?
Yeah, Mike Powell is ranked number 13. You typically, in this case, they do take over the fighter's ranking. They do switch places. He probably knocked Mike Powell out of the top 15 status and move him on down. But you never know. They'll probably move him down to 15 and take Mike Powell out.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, man. See,
looking at that division, that's a stacked division, too.
Yeah, very stacked. Was it welterweight?
Yep.
Yeah, because from the top half, although looking at who the contenders are, you'll look at them and go, oh man, come on, this isn't very stacked at all. Their number 1 contender is Robbie Lawler. But if you look at the way Robbie Lawler has been fighting lately, man, the man's been a madman.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. Guy is crazy.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald, Carlos Condit, Tyler Woodley, Matt Brown, top 5 guys. Hector Lombard, number 6. Jake Ellenberger, number 7. Maya, number 8. I mean, geez.
I do think Hector Lombard should be higher.
Well, he had that rough patch where, he was cold, hot, where, it looked like he was going to be a washout when he first came over because people were looking at him and expecting so much because, he looked like an animal over.
Yeah, he went like, 15 wins straight in Bellator?
Oh, was it Bellator? Is that where he came from?
Yeah, he came from Bellator, and the guy, he didn't lose for like 10 years. I forgot how long he went just completely wrecking everybody who came through.
Oh, yeah, Bellator Fighting Championships. Yeah, man, I see that, yeah.
and then he came over to the UFC and still tried to perform at middleweight.
Or he
And
was fighting in and out of Bellator with. It looked like he was alternating between that and the CFC MMA organization.
so yeah, the guy, he should be ranked way higher, but unfortunately, he tried to fight at middleweight first, which is something I
Storms he beat. Looking at some of the fighters, Alexander Shlemenko, Joe Dorson, Jesse Taylor, which he looked to be pretty good early on, and I don't know if you remember that cat. He looked to be pretty good on the Tough Show. He actually got kicked off the Tough Show for doing some sort of kicking out the windows of a limousine or something.
He got kicked off a Tough Show for doing things that they do on Tough.
Yeah. Oh, and he also beat Husmar Palhares.
Yep.
Jake Shields.
Yeah, the guy, he's insanely strong, and he has great technique. He was just too short to be competing at middleweight. Yushin Okami highly exposed that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like I said, that first fight with Tim Bosch, that was his first fight in the UFC, and he lost a split decision on that one, and then he came back and beat Husmar Palhares by KO in round 1. And then Yushin Okami lost to Yushin Okami, very weird, Very not on a 2-fight streak there, so it looks like he's redeemed himself because now he's 3 wins, 2 losses in the UFC. So
hopefully he can continue on this little hot streak he's on, and get back on track.
Yep.
That's good.
All right, so what do you think there? You think we're going to see Jordan Meehan move up to number 13 and just swap places with Mike Pyle?
Yeah, I see him going up to number 15, probably 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that happening. I see poor Mike Pyle getting him out of there.
Yeah, do you care to predict any fight for Meehan after that?
I have to see the rankings again. Hold on. I'm not sure because at this rate he's still he's still unranked.
Yeah.
But eventually, obviously they're going to rank him after this.
Yeah, I think on Monday we'll probably see him go up to at least 13 at least. And then Kelvin Gastelum, he's number 11 in the division. I like that kid.
Ooh, yeah, I do too. A lot of heart, and a lot. Unfortunately, people don't recognize the talent that he is. But
I mean, I overlooked him on the show. I mean, I actually picked him early on when we were doing prediction contests early on. I actually picked him, and then I changed my pick at the last minute, and wound up costing me winning one of the games there. But yeah, I mean, the guy is he just brings it, man.
I like to see him fight. I would like to see him fight him. Yeah, Kevin Gastelum. Why not?
Yeah, I think that would make a nice fight.
Yeah, Jordan's 24 years old. Kevin is
22
years up.
Yeah.
It'd be two fights from 2 young guns.
2 young up and comers looking to get into the top 10. I think that would be great.
Oh man, that'd be ridiculous. I'd love to see that fight.
Yeah, because how long is Maya going to be out with that staff?
I'm not sure at all. Usually they're out for, as if they just took a fight, so probably a couple months tops. Yeah, it's not long at all.
All right. Any more predictions on that one there as far as who might fight who? How about
no more predictions for me.
All right, recapping that one there. Jordan Meehan defeats Mike Pyle by TKO due to punches at 112 of round 1. Okay, and now let's move on to the shocker here. The main event, Rafael dos Anjos versus Benson Henderson.
Poor Ben Henderson.
Yeah, man. Right when he was getting right back on track, too, there, after, he had that loss to Pettis there, you figure, he's coming back, he's going to be the champ again,
And, I fear the same thing will happen to somebody like Alexander Gustafsson, where he's trying so hard to get back to the champion, but the champion is just booked. So it's nothing he can do but just keep taking these meaningless fights.
Yeah, he says he doesn't want to take another fight, and he's not going to. He said he needs the rightful #1 contender who should be
Yeah.
fighting for the belt, and I think he said he's just going to wait. But DFW said that probably isn't a smart move, so they're probably going to give him somebody to fight.
Yeah, they had to give him somebody, and unfortunately, it was Rafael dos Anjos. Oh man, that kind of hurt to see. Him not only lose, but the way he lost.
That was nasty.
Yeah, that was a flying knee. That's what started, and then from there.
Yeah, he was a little sloppy when he got up, and that's what did him in. You know?
It was that right hook that put him right back down.
Yeah, he just tried to pop up rather than grabbing the the leg or the body or something and trying to close the distance because he was already taking shots.
And I don't understand why he would pop up immediately and not do his usual
popped
thing.
up, boom, right.
Yeah, popped up and got hit right back down.
Yeah, and then I think it was Big John McCarthy who jumped in there and got in between them. And a lot of people thought maybe it was a little premature. And yeah, I mean, I could see the argument for that, but would it have ended any differently? Probably not.
Probably not. The way it was looking, he was about to just get blasted with just a billion shots just raining down. That's what it looked like. But I feel so bad about Benson Henderson.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. I mean, Benson Henderson, he made it all the way back up to
#1.
Yeah, all the way back to #1. So now what happens in this case?
What happens in this case is, I think Benson, he'll probably just take one more fight and be back up to #1 because he was on a bit of a winning streak. He was on a bit of a ridiculously great winning streak before that happened.
Yeah, he was the shit.
Yeah, he still is though. He still is He's a very frustrating fighter to watch because he's not going to knock the person out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he fights the perfect fight every time, it seems like.
Yeah, I heard comments being made, and I think it might have been DFW that said this, or I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was on the UFC post-fight show. I heard some people making comments that they think Rafael dos Anjos, or Yos, or how you say it, should actually be ranked the #1 contender now. So what do you think? It's going to be Dos Anjos #1, Henderson #2?
No, I wouldn't put him at #1 because he just lost to what's his name? Khabib, the 21-year-old undefeated guy.
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, I really can't say his last name to save my life. But yeah, he just lost to him like a few fights ago. So I wouldn't put him at #1 because he's still not better than specific guys in that division.
Where's Nurmagomedov ranked? #3.
Yeah, he's #3 right now. So I wouldn't put Rafael dos Anjos at #1. But at the same time, he should be ranked higher than Benson Henderson.
All right, so who do you think is going to be #1 then? Because Henderson actually gets knocked out of that spot now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Henderson has to get knocked out of the spot. So I'm really not sure. Where's Rafael dos Anjos? I think he's #6 right now. So I would move him up probably to like #4, #3.
Who's that?
Rafael dos Anjos.
Are you looking at UFC rankings?
Wait, hold on 1 second. Where's he ranked at in UFC rankings?
UFC has him at 5.
Oh, at #5? Oh man.
Yeah, because I noticed there's not much consistency when you go around and you look at different. Yeah, I never really put a whole lot of credence into the UFC rankings because they change so dramatically, like we mentioned earlier.
Oh, very dramatically.
But
Maynard all the way down to #15. He was just #8, I believe.
Yeah, I mean they've got Henderson #1, Melendez #2, Nurmagomedov #3, Cerrone #4, Dos Anjos 5, Thompson 6, and Thompson just lost, didn't he?
Yeah, so Thompson just lost, so he shouldn't be at #6. Yeah, Rafael dos Anjos, I wouldn't put him at #1 because he's not better than Khabib or Gilbert Melendez. So I'll probably put him at #3, put Khabib at #2, put Gilbert at #1.
Wow, and Henderson back to what? 3?
#4.
#4? Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see on Monday or Tuesday what happens with that.
Yeah, because that division is insanely stacked.
Yeah. You gotta love the UFC. I mean, when you look at the
Mm-hmm.
top 15 fighters in each division, it's pretty impressive
Yeah.
across the board.
Mm-hmm. Except for like the lower weight class divisions, which is even they're starting to build up
Yeah,
to where everybody could be a number one contender.
yeah, yeah. You look at some of the lower divisions, and the top 10 looks great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The bantamweight's a little shaky.
Yeah, I would say the only division that's shaky would be the bantamweights or the featherweights because they're very strong in the top five division, and then after that it gets a little shaky. And after that,
Yeah, but Dominic Cruz is coming back in that division.
oh yeah, that's going to be insane.
Yeah, Alex Caceres, he just suffered that loss to Uriah Faber.
Yeah, and in that guy, I was talking about him the other day. I don't know if he's overrated or
I
underrated.
love that kid. I mean,
I,
he just has come around. I mean, when he first
hmm
came into the UFC after Tough, didn't look like he was going to do all that well, and then
Yeah.
immediately he turned things around and started looking really good.
hmm
But I
And then
think they
he,
just fast tracked him too quickly to fight somebody like Uriah Faber. That was crazy.
oh, that was brutal. Why would they do that? I was wondering that, like, why would they do that to Uriah? Why would they do that to Uriah Faber? He's number two?
Because he lost to Henning
He,
Barao
yep.
three times now, right?
Mm-hmm. With the second one, I don't think should have counted, but
Yeah.
oh man. And in the flyweight division, you have Demetrius Johnson just running through everyone.
Yeah, I love that little guy too. He's a badass.
Oh man, to me, he's what I think he's top. He's top five easily, top three fighters probably. Pound for pound, if you ask me.
Yeah,
That his
in the
speed is
UFC
just.
pound for pound rankings, he's number 4.
Oh, see, to me, I would actually probably put him above Kane.
You would?
Probably. I'm not saying I
Yeah, I
would.
think so too. I think I would too. Yeah, Kane is a badass, but Kane is pretty much in the heavyweight division. As
Yeah.
heavyweights go, they're big striking dudes, and boom. But
hmm
Demetrius Johnson, man, he's got a little
He's
bit of
got
everything.
everything.
Yeah,
He can take you down. He can outpunch you. His footwork is the best probably in UFC history.
yeah. John Jones, Jose Aldo, Cain
Okay.
Velasquez, Demetrius Johnson, Chris
hmm
Weidman, Anthony Pettis, man. Anderson Silva, Renan Barao, Ronda Rousey up to number 9, Johnny Hendricks 10. Wow, TJ
So
Dillashaw number 11.
they have Ronda Rousey at number nine. I
Yep.
wouldn't do that. I put her above Chris Weidman, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep, I would put her where Chris Weidman's at, and
I actually
Chris
thought she
Weidman
was.
number
I
six.
agree. I don't know if I would put her above Chris Weidman, but I do agree with last time I remember when we were looking at the rankings, pound for pound wise. I
hmm
thought she was going to move up another 2 or 3 notches, but she didn't. She only went up 1 notch.
Yeah, and they still have Renan Barao above her.
Do they?
You know,
Yeah, they do.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even as big of a Silva fan as I am, I don't think Silva should be above Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Yeah. Anderson Silva, it's kind of odd that he's still in that position, but I guess it's going on the legend and the legacy.
Yeah, you have to go off of the legacy. The guy,
Yeah.
he is Silva.
Because you can't really say current, because he hasn't fought for nearly a year now, right?
Yeah, he's not fighting till. Yeah, he'll be out an entire year when he fights.
Yeah. But
Oh
I
man.
don't know, man. What do you think? Him and Nick Diaz, man. Do you think? How do you think that one goes?
Huh, oh, we discussed this last show. Second
Yeah,
round, TKO. Silva.
yeah,
Unfortunately, he's a slow starter, so Silva, of course, has got to get his timing down, get his rhythm, and then after that, it's only a matter of time before he knocks Diaz right out.
yeah. I agree with you. I think we agreed on the last show on that one too.
hmm
Last time we discussed it, but
Yeah. And then after that, I kind of don't want to see Silva fight for the title again, but unfortunately, that's probably where it's going to lead eventually. It's probably going to be Silva versus Vitor Belfort for the title because I don't see Chris Weidman getting past Vitor.
you don't think so?
Oh no, not even close. Mm-mm.
Well, we got that situation where he had to go off to TRT, and every time, well, most of the time, I would say the majority of the time, when you get the fighters that have to go off to TRT, they typically, don't really fare all that well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know, man. I'm not quite so sure that, Vitor will beat Chris Weidman.
Yeah, you have to. I'm not sure, man, because Vitor, he has it all. He has the strength, he has the size, he has the speed, but he doesn't have the one thing that Chris Weidman does, and that's that heart and a game plan that just can't be beat.
Yeah, I mean, if the two of them decide to stand there and bang at each other, which I think would be stupid for Weidman. Yeah, I could see him getting that because he's actually on a 3-fight KO TKO streak, man. So yeah, that probably wouldn't be wise. But again, that fight with Henderson was last year, and then we all know that Vitor actually had to drop out from the last fight that he was scheduled to fight because the Nevada State Athletic Commission banned TRT. No TVs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
It'll be very interesting. I hate to see the drama unfold, but I kind of love to see it unfold at the same time. So you never know where it's going to lead with these two.
Yeah, it's going to be December 6th, 2014, UFC 181. So
before we know it, that'll be here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, so, yeah, a shame for Benson Henderson. Like we said, he was on his way back after that loss to
Anthony Pettis. Yeah, and like he's stuck in he's stuck in the Gustafsson mode where you can't do anything but wait on the champion.
Yep.
But at the same time, you have to take fights.
Yep.
And they're trying to give Gustafsson Rumble Johnson next, which is something nobody wants to see.
Yeah, I don't want to see that because I actually want to see Gustafsson get his rematch with Jones.
Yeah. And
regardless of whether or not Jones gets knocked out by Daniel Cormier.
I do want to see that Jones versus Gustafsson fight happen, regardless for whether it's for a title or not.
Yeah, me too. What do you think happens with the Cormier-Jones fight, which is now put off until, I believe, the beginning of the year as well?
I'm not sure, man, because it could go a 5-round Cormier just smothering Jones and nothing Jones could do about it. But at the same time, Jones having a 12.5-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop Cormier. Cormier crowds the fighter, does that Roman Greco up against the cage, kind of like Randy Couture does,
Yep, and he smothered. He treated Bigfoot Silva like a doll.
Yeah, man, that was brutal. I watched that, I was like, holy shit, that changed my whole opinion of it.
Yeah. Because Cormier is 5'10", and Bigfoot Silva's 6'5".
Yeah.
And he treated
throwing him over his head.
Yeah, he's throwing him over his head, picking him up, and slamming him again.
I don't see John Jones being any problem for Daniel Cormier. I think, again, ideally Jones wants to fight from the outside. You realize the extremely long reach that he has, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Chances are that's probably going to switch up immediately as the fight began.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
like man. I think Cormier will rush him, get him up against the cage. I don't recall how Jones does up against the cage. Can you think of an instance?
I'm not sure. When he's up against the cage, he hasn't been.
Yeah, I don't think he has been, has he?
I don't think he's been. I don't think he's been put in that situation where he has to be against the cage.
Yeah, I can't think of any fights where he was, but I'm sure there might have been one or two.
Oh man, yeah. Let me see. I don't think he's ever been against the cage. I think he's dominated kind of like everybody he's fought against except Gustafsson.
Yeah, did it happen in the Gustafsson fight?
Gustafsson just outworked him. Yeah, Gustafsson kind of jabbed him to death almost.
Who did you think won that fight? How did you score?
Gustafsson.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought Gustafsson took rounds 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's how I scored it as well. I even went a little more greedy for Gustafsson because I was so excited and gave him 5. But I conceded after the fact that, that was probably Jones's round.
Yeah. Looking back at it, I looked at it again. I still gave Gustafsson round 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah. I could see that very easily.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people didn't agree.
Yeah.
I don't think that one spinning elbow that he hit Gustafsson with, that they gave him all the credit for.
Yeah, but
Gustafsson was winning the round up until that point.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you look at
for one spinning elbow.
If you looked at that round, Gustafsson was dominating round 4 until that spinning elbow.
I thought so too.
And that was like a minute left into the round where that happened.
Yep.
So,
yeah, you can put him on his stanky legs, but
yeah. Yeah, so you never know how the judges will score things. So yeah, looking forward to this fight between Cormier and Jones. Man, it could go either way, man.
Yeah, and I think Cormier gets the win, and I don't care whether or not John Jones is no longer the champion, like you. I don't think it was a fluke. Do you?
What
with Gustafsson Jones?
Oh no, that wasn't a fluke at all. That was talent right there. That was natural skill right there with both fighters. But that's why I want to see it again, because it looked so natural that Gustafsson was just giving him problems, and there was nothing he could do about it.
Yeah, I was so excited when the fight. I was like, wow, he's doing it.
He's actually doing it. He's stuffing his takedowns. Oh man, so yeah, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but I want.
So who else is he gonna have to fight? He's gonna have to fight Cormier, probably, then Gustafsson, and then
probably Rumble Johnson.
Oh man, that's a brutal lineup. I don't see how he survives being the champion with those 3 fights on his.
Oh no, I really don't. But at the same time, John Jones is unfortunately a bad cat.
Yeah, definitely a badass fighter, no question about it. But again, we run into those situations where, fighters that seem to be invincible, they have this mystique that builds up around them. That's this aura that, fighters defeat themselves before they even get in and actually fight.
Yep.
And, maybe maybe Gustafsson broke that barrier down, and now people know, he does have chinks in his armor.
That's how it was with watching Henry Barral fight. Everybody thought he was just this mysterious guy who just goes in and absolutely destroys opponents. But somehow TJ Dillashaw exposed every one of his chinks in his armor. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think there were very many people that were picking him to win that at all. But congrats again. I can't believe that rematch happened.
So fast.
Yeah, I mean, they're making that happen when, I don't know, man, when you beat a fighter down, does that fighter really deserve a rematch right away, regardless of whether or not he was the champ?
No, not even close.
Yeah, that was annihilation, man.
The only reason they gave Silva the rematch is because it was Silva. I really don't understand why they gave Henry Barral the rematch so fast, He didn't have to fight anybody else. Somebody got injured and he stepped right in.
I mean, in a case like John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson, I mean, regardless of who would have won or lost that fight deserved an immediate rematch.
Because of how controversial it is.
Yeah, that in addition to that, correct.
So yeah, man, you never know, man.
Yeah, so hard to say there. Okay, so yeah, bummer. Benson Henderson, chin up, man.
Chin up, bro.
Back to the drawing board, and you'll be coming back, no doubt about it. And congrats to Rafael dos Anjos as well. Interesting shake-up in the division there, so can't wait to see what happens when they actually do schedule the next few fights for that division there.
It should be interesting. Looking forward.
Okay. There was some other news about John Jones again, but we don't want to bring up any other news about Jones because there's just so much of it. People are going to think we're haters on him. But there was some other shit that happened, and crazy stuff.
All right, yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Right,
oh, I know what it was. It was kind of like a little humorous. He was poking fun at Cormier on Jimmy Kimmel, I believe it was, for number 4 in the Olympics. So.
Oh yeah, all right, I guess.
And then Cormier came back and posted he found a picture of John Jones in high school losing and placing like 5th place.
Yeah, he placed 5th place.
Kind of humorous, but why would you go out and try to humiliate somebody like that,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of
getting
ridiculous
to
at this
be
point.
number 4 in the Olympics is pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, and this guy he placed number 4 in high school, so you know.
If it was that, because when I looked at the picture, it looked like he was. Did you see the face on him in that
Oh
picture?
yeah.
It looked like a kid who had his candy store, like, oh,
Oh man, that's funny.
yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Rafael dos Anjos defeats Benson Henderson by KO due to punches at 2:31 of round 1,
Hmm.
and that was a pretty brutal end to that
Hmm.
management there. And then let's real quickly talk about the fight bonuses here. Rafael dos Anjos wins $50,000 performance of the night bonus for
Yes,
his
sir.
finish of Benson Henderson by knockout due to punches in 2:31 of round 1, like we just mentioned. Um, Jordan Meehan also won a $50,000 performance of the night bonus for his finish of Mike Pyle by TKO due to punches at 1:12 of round 1. Thales Leites won $50,000 performance of the night bonus for his finish of Francis Carmel by
Hmm.
knockout due to punches at 20 seconds of round 2. And then Ben Saunders also won $50,000 performance of the night bonus for his finish of Chris Heatherly by submission due to omoplata at 2:18 in round 1. And there was no fight of the night bonus, which was kind of interesting.
Hmm.
Did you think there was a fight that could have been fight of the night?
Actually, no.
No?
Now I have to look back at it, but right now I'm like no.
Let's see. Fight of the night. What could have been fight of the night?
Yeah, outside of that one, because the shot factor itself, that's what made the fight of the night, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of difficult looking at going which one is fight of the night.
Hmm.
Round 1 finish, round 2 finish, round 1 finish, round 3 finish. Maybe Max Holt. No, you couldn't say that was fight of the night. And certainly not James Vick versus Belmir Lazaro.
Hmm.
That was probably the worst fight on the card, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at that, I can't find one that I would say should be a fight of the night
Hmm.
contender. But interesting. 4 guys got $50,000 each, so pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah. UFC starting to be more generous with their bonuses.
Yeah. Okay, and I don't know if there's any other news that we wanted to mention. Oh, yes, there is. We keep hearing this back and forth between Carano going to the UFC, possibly to Bellator, blah, 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 blah. The latest that I've read on that, again, from the last show that we did, is that DFW is interested in signing her still, and he thinks it can happen soon. So
I
I
don't.
guess, huh?
I said I don't want to see her fight, man.
I mean, I don't want to see her fight in the UFC. I'd rather see her go over to Bellator where she fights at 145.
Yep.
I think she's more suited for that.
Hmm.
But Carano said that she wants to fight at 135. So
I'm not sure where. I just don't want to see her fight again. You know, it seems like her legacy is already cemented. You know, she's done what she has to do.
I mean, the reason I don't want to see her in the UFC fighting at 135 is because I think she's going to struggle to actually make weight,
Hmm.
and she'll have those issues there. Because she's probably not walking around at 145 or 150. I think she's a little bit larger than that, right?
Yeah, probably. And plus, she's doing movies. She's probably at movie weight right now.
That's what
So
I'm going to be kind and use that terminology that
yeah,
you coined there. Movie weight. I like
she's
that.
at movie weight right now. So I don't think she's at fight weight right now.
Yeah, yeah, and I think because of that, I think she would be better suited for
Hmm.
Bellator. She wouldn't have to struggle so much to cut so much weight because she always struggled with that in the first place.
Yep.
Um,
And
so,
plus, her last fight ended brutally. So yeah, I don't want to see her fight again.
yeah, well, the only reason I would like to see her go to Bellator and fight is because Justino is actually committed to going to 135
Oh
and
yeah.
going to the UFC, and that's more news. DFW said that's a fight that may happen too. Ronda
Hmm.
Rousey versus Cyborg at 135. So. I don't agree with that, giving her a shot straight away, coming in making 135, because that's just really, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's not really proving that she wants to be in that 135-pound division, and she's just coming in to try to take the fight from the
Hmm.
belt from Rousey. I think she should fight 1 or 2 fights before fighting Rousey, but I don't make the matches at the UFC.
Yeah, they're
But
probably
that was
going.
another reason why I thought that it would be more valid for Carano to go to Bellator, because Carano, and there's a couple other girls that were signed over there at 145 that I believe were cut from, or their contracts weren't renewed over at Invicta. And, you know, if Justino isn't going to be fighting at Bellator at 145, I think it makes sense for Gina Carano to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not so bad if she does that.
It's not that bad.
But you don't want to see her fighting at all, huh?
Nope, not even close.
I love her, man. I think she's great. I don't agree with everybody else's determination in regard to how the fight went with Cyborg back in the day in 2006 or whatever that was that they had the fight. I didn't think it was that bad of a beatdown. I thought she was actually doing pretty damn good until the last minute of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, pretty good fight. I mean, but it's just, I just feel like her legacy, it's there, you know. Coming back, what does that actually do?
Well, I can understand MMA organizations wanting.
Yeah, they want. Yeah,
they
want her, but you know, I'm saying from her standpoint, what does that actually do with her coming back? That's what. Well, I wouldn't do it if I was her.
Well, maybe what they're trying to do from both angles, you know, from Carano and her management, as well as the UFC, is, you know, they're trying to get that, you know, crossover. That was actually in 2009, not 2006, when she fought Justina. But I think, you know, it's probably that crossover thing where, you know, they can tie into the entertainment industry, get a lot more, you know, fans to come over to UFC and vice versa. You know, the entertainment industry can use, you know, Gina Carano as a fighter in an action flick, you know, so I can see the trade-offs and the benefits going each way.
Me too.
But yeah, I didn't think it was all that bad of a beatdown. Yeah, it only went, you know, one round, and it was a shame. I thought, you know, 1 second from the fight being over, you know, if she could have got her break in between, you know, rounds there, I think she could have got a second win and maybe not beat, you know, a Cyborg, but I certainly didn't see it as a beatdown the way that a lot of people did. Yeah, the finish was kind of brutal, TKO due to punches, but, you know, she was doing fairly well, in my opinion, up until that point.
I go back and look at it. It's been a while since I saw that fight, but
I think I posted
that fight.
I think I posted it on the site. If I didn't, remind me, and I'll post it up there again. It's floating around out there on the internet, but yeah, watch it again, because she was actually doing fairly well, you know. I mean, she was actually in full mount on Justino at one point.
Right.
She was on top of her, you know, raining down, but didn't last long.
Oh man, yeah, I gotta see it.
Yeah, it wasn't a one-sided beatdown, but you know, love Gina Carano. Love what she did. I mean, come on, she's really, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, but because she was so attractive, you know, at that time, and she became the face of women's MMA, she was gorgeous, man. How could you not want to watch a beautiful woman like that fight? You know, she was on such a great streak up until the Justino fight. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights in a row she had won. You know,
man.
No, 7 fights in a row she had won.
Yeah, 7 fights. Yeah.
But before that, she was also fighting, you know, Muay Thai, and she had a great Muay Thai record. You know, I mean, I can't remember what that record was, but it was pretty impressive as well. So you know, a lot of people give her shit because, you know, she's a beautiful woman. They say, oh well, you know, she's just a face.
No, she was more than that.
Yeah, I think she's a face.
She was skilled.
Yeah, but she had skill, and she brought women's MMA, and a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I thought she brought it to the forefront when she was fighting over there in, you know, Elite XC and Strike Force, you know.
Oh man. Well, I think I have to leave out of here in a minute, man.
Okay, man. Well, it was an interesting show there. We pretty much covered everything that we wanted to cover. Is that about it?
Yeah, that'll be all for me.
Okay, bro. I appreciate you taking the time to show up. Sorry Damon couldn't make it. We tried to get him on the show, but he was having some issues there. So maybe we'll get it sorted out on the next show. It would have been nice to have 3 guys discussing this event here. But thanks again, buddy. I truly appreciate you showing up. I had a great time as usual.
Yeah,
you know, we've done a few shows together, but only 2 of them have made air. But yeah, thanks again for showing up. I'll go ahead and I will see you next time. Say goodbye if you want to say goodbye.
All right, I'll see you later. I'll probably be on the next show whenever invited, man.
You're always invited, my friend. I'd love having you on, man. Love your perspective.
All right, thanks, man.
All righty, man. Have a good
All
one.
right, you too. See ya.
All right, bye-bye.